Great minds think for themselves. Live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. The only thing permanent is change. Both love of mankind and respect for their rights are duties. The former, however, is only a conditional, the latter an unconditional, purely imperative duty, which he must be perfectly certain not to have transgressed, who would give himself up to the secret emotions arising from benevolence. Thinking is conversation with oneself. Patience is the strength of the weak. Impatience is the weakness of the strong. Two things awe me most: the starry sky above me, and the moral law within me. You only know me as you see me, not as I actually am. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. Man's duty is to improve himself, to cultivate his mind, and, when he finds himself going astray, to bring the moral law to bear upon himself. Do the right thing, because it is right. Heaven has given human beings three things to balance the odds of life: hope, sleep, and laughter. Procrastination is hardly more evil than grasping impatience. Most men use their knowledge only under guidance from others, because they lack the courage to think independently, using their own reasoning abilities. It takes intellectual daring to discover the truth. There can be no doubt that all our knowledge begins with experience. Honesty is better than any policy. Space and time are the framework within which the mind is constrained to construct its experience of reality. Give a man everything he wants, and at that moment, everything is not everything. In every department of physical science, there is only so much science, properly so called, as there is mathematics. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. Nature is beautiful because it looks like art, and art can only be called beautiful if we are conscious of it as art, while yet it looks like nature. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. Life is the faculty of spontaneous activity, the awareness that we have powers. Woman wants control, man self-control. An action is essentially good if the motive of the agent be good, regardless of the consequences. The hand is the visible part of the brain. The wise man can change his mind, the stubborn one, never. Rules for happiness: something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. To be is to do. The nice thing about living in a small town is that when you don't know what you're doing, someone else does. One is not rich by what one owns, but more by what one is able to do, with dignity. If you punish a child for being naughty, and reward him for being good, he will do right merely for the sake of the reward. And when he goes out into the world, and finds that goodness is not always rewarded, nor wickedness always punished, he will grow into a man who only thinks about how he may get on in the world, and does right or wrong, according as he finds advantage to himself. It is through good education that all the good in the world arises. The bad thing of war is that it makes more evil people than it can take away. It is impossible to conceive anything at all in the world, or even out of it, which can be taken as good, without qualification, except a good will. Freedom is the opposite of necessity. Marriage is the union of two people of different sexes, with a view to the mutual possession of each other's sexual attributes for the duration of their lives. All perception is colored by emotion. For peace to reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. The two great dividers are religion and language. Three things tell a man: his eyes, his friends, and his favorites. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals.